Hello friends, welcome back to Take Data with Anuj. In today's video, we are going to learn one of the most important SQL Server interview topic, the difference between store procedure and function with example. Okay, so by the end of this video, you will clearly understand what is store procedure, what is a function, and key difference between them, and also I will explain real time example with education. So let's get started. Means, what is store procedure? A store procedure is pre-compiled group of statement stored in a database. Okay, means store procedure is a pre-compiled group of SQL statement stored in the database. Think of like a method in programming. You create a method and call this method through any object, reference object. So you can call it whenever you need to perform some task. Okay, so this is the definition of store procedure. Okay, so it can take input, output, and default parameter, and also this perform insert, update, delete operation, and also it handle the transaction, begin, commit, and rollback, and after this is support to error handling. Okay friends, so this means sample of how to create a store procedure. We use create procedure and procedure name and pass the parameter name and provide the body, means begin and end. Okay, so my next question is, what is function? What is function? A function is a database object that performs some operation and always return a value. Okay, means a function is a database object that performs some operation and always return a value. There are two types of function in SQL Server. One is the scalar function, one is the table value function. So scalar function each and every time return a single value, and table value function return table. Okay, it can take only input parameter allow, cannot perform DML operation. Means it cannot perform DLL, only select statement allow in function. Okay friends, so this is the sample example of create a scalar function. So this is the syntax: create function, function name, and return decimal. Here is the salary in this function. Be return is salary. Okay, and table value function return each and every time return a table. So I mention this is the return a table. Okay, so basically most top interview ask what is the actual difference between store procedure and function. So this slide will helpful to understand what exact difference between both. So store procedure can return multiple value, function must return single value or table. Okay, store procedure executed with execute command, function can used only select command. Okay, store procedure allow import output parameter, function only input parameter allow. Store procedure handle transaction like begin transaction, commit transaction, and rollback. Function cannot handle transaction. Okay, store procedure can perform insert, update, delete, but function cannot modify DB state. Means insert, update, delete not perform, and also only is- select command only we can execute in function. So one is the real life example. store procedure means we want to process a monthly salary, so multiple operation and transaction needed in store procedure body. And function calculate HRA, simply I create a function calculate HRA, so each and every time we pass the value and return the HRA detail. Okay दोस्तों, so let's see the example what is store procedure and how to create a store procedure and function. Let's move to SSMS. So I created a employee table with employee ID integer, primary key, identity column, employee name, salary, department ID. So command completely successfully. So we inserted some record in employee table. Okay, 8 row affected. Check select star from employee. Okay, so 8 record inserted in cell employee table. So how to create store procedure? Okay, first see, I will see what how to create a store procedure. So store procedure use create procedure name, this is a procedure name. Okay, and pass the parameter department ID integer and as, don't forget to as. Okay, I, when you return any store procedure every time means if you fresher, so you forget to mention as, so this will be may impact and when you create a store procedure. So begin, start with begin, this is the body of store procedure. So I write a query, select employee ID, employee salary, department ID from employee where department ID is equal to department ID. This is the parameter which is passed to means department ID 2 and 3, which you want to get detail, which department you want to get detail. Okay, so we created a store procedure, so command complete successfully. So here we can see this is the store procedure and parameter, one is the department ID input, this is the type of input, parameter return integer. Okay, so basically I passed. So how to execute this store procedure means how to execute. So we execute using execute keyword, you can execute keyword. Okay, you also write exec and provide the full name also, execute store procedure name and pass the parameter department as equal to 2. So this is the record, means 3 record available with department ID equal to 2. Let's see. So 1 record, 2 record and 3 record. 3 record written. So this is the example of store procedure, how to create a store procedure. This is the body, just like function body. If you write any program and create a function and provide the body, so this is the body and this is the parameter name. Okay, so this is very simple and very useful for most of project use procedure rather than use normal select query. Okay friends, so and coming to scalar function means function. So function, how to create function? So we create function means create function and provide the function name. You, if you want anything, want provide different name, so you can pass here. Okay, so create function name, and this is the parameter. Okay, employee ID is the parameter, and also I will provide return type. Function have each and every time return means uh, without return type So basically function only execute select statement, so each and every time they return output. Okay, so this is the mandatory to define return type. Okay, as begin, this is the body, and this is the body end. Body begin, body end. So declare a salary. I want to salary means employee ID 1 2 3. So this is the select query. So I declare a variable and pass the employee id return the salary detail. So I executed this function. So command completely successfully. So we can see here function. So this is the scalar function. So this is the scalar function, return only single value. So that's why this automatically, if you create any scalar function, automatically goes to this section, means scalar value function. You scroll up and see the function name. So this is the scalar function. So how to execute function? So function use select statement to execute function. So here is the example. This is the select statement, employee name and get employee salary, pass the employee id as a salary from employee. So this is execute. So only return employee name and salary detail from employee table. This is the example of scalar function. So let's see the example of table value function. So I created a function written as a table. So very important, return table, because this is the table value function. So create function name, and pass the department id as the integer and return the table as return select employee id and this. Okay, execute this. So how to execute function return hell function return function basically use select statement for execution. Oh, this is the means get employee by department and pass the department id, sorry. uh, so select star from function name and pass the department id, and here is the return which is belong to department, who will depend, yeah, who will depend in department id2. Here you can see department id Priya, Rahul and Pooja. Okay, so here is the Priya, Rahul and Pooja, means this employee belong to department id2. Okay friends, that's it for today video. If you found this explanation useful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Take Data with Anuj for more SQL Server interview tutorial. And also comment below one do you use more in your project, store procedure or function. Thanks for watching. See you in next video. Thank you.